On today's episode, we're going to be speaking to two immigrant entrepreneurs, individuals who are breaking barriers in their community, people who are making life simpler for people around them. Well, today I'm going to be speaking to Olaitan Onyebuoha. Olaitan was an international student, now an entrepreneur who is doing so many things to break barriers and to make life simpler for other immigrants within her community. You're welcome, Olaitan.
Thank you, Damilola. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. It's so nice to have you here. I know that we've had several conversations and we've had you on a previous episode of the Journey Amplified, but it's really, really awesome to have an interview focused on you on this episode.
I appreciate this, and anytime I would always be here.
Awesome.
It's a journey of social impact.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's get right into it, Olaitan. We want to hear about your journey. We want to amplify your journey. Tell us, we know that you arrived in Canada, New Brunswick, actually, as an international student. And today you are an entrepreneur. I think it's safe to call you a serial entrepreneur, actually, because you have founded two businesses here in New Brunswick. So do you want to tell us about that journey? How did you come in, as a student? What was your decision? What was your plan? What was your dream when you arrived in Canada? Where did all this start from?
Yeah, thank you so much once again. I think it started from the legacy my parents gave to us when we were growing up. They always say that education is the greatest that nobody can ever take from you. So that shaped my mindset when I was growing up. I had always seen myself as somebody that wants to multiply very little resources or that I have. So I started off in my mom's shop, and actually she named that shop after one of my name, Boladale. So Boladale literally means somebody that kind of uses our wealth and ensures that our wealth goes through generation. And Olaitan also literally means endless wealth. So many a times when people call me, that name kind of resonates. So I said to my mom, someday I really want to go into business. She was like, well, let's start with mine. So I was going through that as I was going through school. So my first diploma in marketing, distinction, literally took me into into internship. So I was able to work in an organization where I had a project of working with small businesses in marketing. That started, growing the seed. And then I went through to the university. I graduated from University of Benin, first class. I emerged overall best in my class and second best in my faculty. Then I still couldn't find my way around business because I found myself doing more of strategy, marketing. Then I got employed at ExxonMobil in human resources. I still can't find myself around business. I kept on working, and before I left Nigeria, I was married, and I couldn't really. My husband works outside of the country, like 95% of the time, and I needed to keep the home together while he's away. So fortunately, there was a Canadian who owns a company in Nigeria and understands my pain point. He knows I have a child, and he knows that I'm somebody that I don't want to leave my children in the hands of house help. So he told me, you know what, we're going to give you this kind of system that works in Canada. And I said, okay, let's see. So he gave me an opportunity to work flexibly. I was working 9 to 3. Then I'll pick up my son and then we go home. My husband is always away. So I looked at the system. I was like, this is very rare to find in Nigeria. By the way, the name of the company is Amco Engineering Works. He's a civil engineer who actually relocated to Canada as a permanent resident, but still kept his business. And he modeled his business around what is obtainable in Canada. So I work 9 to 5, I work 3 times in a week as an administrative and HR professional. But I knew that that wasn't the journey for me. So I started researching schools. It took me 3 years to research all the schools in Canada,
Wow.
all the entire schools in Canada,
Wow.
their MBA program, because I knew my husband might not be able to join us when we're coming because he still works for Procter and Gamble as at that time, and he travels all the time. I wanted a school that would give me the flexibility to be able to also continue with the care for the children and the home front. Then I found UMB. UMB literally checked our box. UMB St. John MBA program is a 1 year program. It's intensive though, and the location, from what we read about the school, the community, how the community welcomes people, New Brunswick in itself. So, 3rd year, we found UMB, I put in my application, and that's why we came here. But prior to when I left Nigeria, I had my second child, and this same company gave me 6 months maternity leave. It's very rare in Nigeria, and I was getting paid and all that. So I said to myself, I would like to really do this kind of thing and help women like me in Nigeria to be able to work in an environment where they can thrive. That this is it for me. So when I came to Canada, the stream of entrepreneurship and technology management was what I really, really wanted to do. That's why I found myself here.
Wow, wow, that is amazing. I mean, to think about when you mentioned what really caught my attention was when you mentioned that it took you 3 years to research studying in Canada. And now it's so heartwarming to hear that this is what you're doing now. You're now trying to help other people who have had similar experiences like yourself to actually simplify the process of finding the pathway to studying as international students. 3 years is a long while. I mean, that's even enough time to complete a program in itself. Wow, so you joined as an international student, as an MBA student with the University of New Brunswick. And what program did you study there?
Yeah, so UNB, University of New Brunswick St. John MBA program. So there are 2 programs. MBA programs are UNB. One is in Fredericton. That one is, I think, 2 years. Then the one for UNB St. John is 1 year. That's the one I joined in 2014.
That's awesome. So it's interesting to hear that the University of New Brunswick St. John campus actually helped you achieve that dream, that long-term dream that you've been looking for, helped you path that way towards entrepreneurship, which is what you had been looking for. That's it's really awesome. And so where did this start from? I know that you founded Ocrej Consulting, which is the students' immigration pathway, and then you have 7th Lauriel Consulting as well, which is what you recently started as a registered Canadian immigration consultant. So let's hear about Ocrej Consulting. How did you start? So you came in for an MBA, and that was, how long did that program run for?
It ran for 1 year. It's a 2-year MBA program that was condensed into one.
Wow.
So it was a 1-year program. By 2015 of October, we graduated from the program. But the knowledge from the program was what actually equipped me with the tangibles. Because like I said, it took me 3 years to research all the graduate schools in Canada. And not only Canada then, I researched US, I researched UK. Even I got admission with UK then. But there were some things that literally made me to choose Canada over US and UK. So one thing within that 3 years.
Sorry to cut in. Do you mind sharing what those are so that we can let people know that you can actually choose Canada over the US?
Well, right. I totally agree. For UK, I know we had Gordon Brown in government when I started applying. And studying in UK then gave you opportunity to get postgraduate work experience. But then the baton of leadership moved from I think Gordon Brown to David Cameron, and the part where students had to go back after studying, became enforceable. So I said to myself, if I am really, really spending XYZ amount of money, you know, together, not getting that European um, experience around the work environment might not really be the thing for me, because that was really the idea, what I wanted to do. And research has shown that graduates from international environments who studied in an international environment are well able to replicate the knowledge from such environments into their own country, and that is an advantage because that's what recruiters are looking for. You and I know that, Dami. So
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be like an exercise in futility for me. If I go there, I just study and I return to Nigeria. I haven't even been able to understand what the market looks like, and there won't be a basis for comparison. There will be a basis for me to bring an experience that an average Nigerian candidate doesn't have.
Right. So
Then also on the street of London,
yeah.
yeah, the racist attack on children on the street of London as at that time was really, really concerning. So I said to myself, this could be my child.
Yeah.
So the safety was also the second consideration. US as well, racial discrimination, the killings of blacks on the street of Atlanta and all that. So
Yeah.
I just said to myself, it's scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Canada, in the middle, just doing its own thing and welcoming newcomers is an inclusive and diverse community. So
That's amazing.
I said, this is it.
That's really
Yeah.
amazing to hear. Right, that's so true. Thank you so much, Olaitan. It's been so heartwarming, so inspiring speaking with you, sharing about your experiences, your journey here in New Brunswick and in Canada as a whole, the impact that you are bringing on board, that you are truly breaking barriers. And I'm glad to see, I saw recently that you were recognized by the forum as one of the women in entrepreneurship who are breaking those barriers. Congratulations on all your wins. I'm so glad and excited for you that coming into Canada was a good decision. It was a great decision, and it's helped you to achieve your dreams. I can see that you have received so much support from several organizations, and I say thank you for giving back. Thank you for not keeping all that to yourself. Thank you for making your experience, your journey, a better experience for other people. And also, thank you once again, Olaitan, for joining us today on The Journey Amplified. It's really been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Dami.
you.
Thank you so much.
In 2020, in the heat of the pandemic, there were a few people who were going around doing good from door to door. Well, today on the studio, on the show, we have the founder of Door2Door Deliveries, who was going around dropping off delivery items for people who were not able to move around during the pandemic. Let's welcome with me today, Seun Richards.
Thank you very much for having me on the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All the way from St. John. It's really a pleasure to have you here.
Absolutely. Anytime. You're my sister, and yes, we need to do what we have to do.
Absolutely. So because we're amplifying your journey, we really want to get to know you. We want to get into the story, into your journey. I know you're a Nigerian, but you didn't move in from Nigeria into New Brunswick. Mm-hmm. So where did this all start from, the move into New Brunswick, Canada?
Okay, all right. Thank you once again for having me on the show. My name is Seun Richards. As you rightly introduced, my last name, family name is Agumbiade. So I'm from Nigeria, but in 2018, July precisely, I and my family migrated from Dubai to New Brunswick, and we came all the way straight to St. John. So we've been staying in St. John since July 2018. The journey started actually specifically in 2019 when I decided I was going to quit my paid job employment out of not getting enough satisfaction and fulfillment from what I was doing. I really felt I could do more. I felt I was not in the right place, and I just felt I needed to hone my skills as well as do something entrepreneurial that was going to engage me. So there were two decisions I took. Number one was to register to apply for my PhD program, which is in entrepreneurship at University of New Brunswick. And the second one was to start looking at what I could do in terms of being an entrepreneur. So I started so the moment I left the job, I quit the job, and then I started delivering food for Skip the Dishes. So that's where, the delivery aspect of it all started. And so it was at a point while I was doing the Skip the Dishes, then I suddenly had a flashback to when we arrived in 2018, where we had challenges, in getting food items, groceries, small furniture, and little household items. Remember, every newcomer would have to buy at least 100 household items when you migrate to a new country. So we had all those challenges to get those stuffs, delivered. So the home delivery aspects was a bit difficult for us, to say the least. The alternative was to use a taxi service, which more often than not are expensive, and as a newcomer, you're trying to save as much as you can. So while doing Skip the Dishes, I thought about the experiences I went through, difficult 3 to 6 month experience. Then I felt we don't only need food from restaurants being delivered to our doorstep. We also need all these 100 household items. So that's where the light bulb started. So I started conceptualizing it as an idea, and I thought, how can I take this idea to the next level? How can I use it to solve a problem not only me have gone through, but other newcomers and immigrants that will be coming, international students as well as economic immigrants, just like myself. So that's where the journey started. Then I had to apply to the St. John Economic Development Greater St. John entrepreneurship program for newcomers, which is a BIE, the Business Immigrant Essentials, hosted by Matt George, my very good friend. So I had to go through that process, that program, to get an understanding of how entrepreneurship is being done in this part of the world. And also, more importantly, to also get to know the culture and how my business idea can actually solve a problem, and where is the space and how can I play, to make an impact in the society. And afterwards, I was fortunate to also take a step further and attended the Venture Validation Program, still with Greater St. John, Economic Development Greater St. John, now Envision St. John. And long story short, after the programs, I registered the business, particularly on December 2019. And that was before the pandemic ever even started. So we never even thought, we never had an idea that there was going to be a global pandemic. We never had, as a matter of fact, the word COVID-19 was not even in existence when the business was registered on the 6th of December 2019. So that's how the journey started. COVID-19, the pandemic lockdown, it's the world, as we all know. February, things started shutting down. In March specifically, in the mid-March, the lockdown was officially announced after COVID was declared a pandemic. And, we had two options. It's either we chicken out or we go ahead and, just help the community. So it was an opportunity during the whole lockdown, delivering parcels, groceries, going from Fredericton to St. John, Moncton to St. John, all around within St. John as well. And they're just making an impact. In total, I could say we did more than about 200 parcels delivery and food, groceries,
Wow.
mostly at zero cost, for people who were mostly affected by the
This
pandemic.
is simply amazing. And you have said a lot of things. And I want to pick very quickly on, just to highlight a couple of things that you have mentioned here. So this all started because of frustration you were getting from a current job. You decided to quit your job, and then you went into doing skip the dishes. So
right.
It wasn't even like you saw an entrepreneurial card or someone say, well, I have a new business for you, just come do this. This was just you deciding, I want to do something else, because I mean, that is a lot of nerve for the fact that you are new in a country, barely a year, living in a new country, and then you decide you're going to step out. You really, were deliberate about doing
Absolutely.
what exactly you wanted to do.
Yep.
And then the opportunity came. You saw that you wanted to meet the needs of people like yourself, newcomers, things they were struggling with.
Yep.
And that's something I really would love to point out. And it's something that I find very common with newcomers who are doing extraordinary things. They actually want to meet the needs of people similar to them.
Yep.
Within the same, environment, in the same community, where they find a need and then they decide that I really want to do this and make a difference. I want to impact my community. That
Yep.
is outstanding. And then something else that you mentioned was the fact that the pandemic hit, movement was restricted.
Yeah.
Interacting with people was restricted, having to move around to
Social
people.
distancing.
Yes, exactly. All of that happened, and,
Yep.
and there were those restrictions, and you saw that as a huge limitation. I mean, I know that a lot of businesses had to shut down, but then you found an opportunity in the midst of that, and you went in, and that was where all of this actually became a thing. That is
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
amazing.
And it's easier right now for me to share the story, but the pain that we had to go through as a team, navigating that space, especially during the pandemic lockdown, it's not something that would take us a whole day
I
to
can
discuss.
imagine. I know, I can imagine. But I know about the awards. I know that the city of St. John had done a lot of recognition. I know that New Brunswick, and there have been so many awards. What value did they find? Can you tell us a bit about these awards? What was the impact exactly? What was?
Yeah. So first of all, I appreciate the opportunity to talk about this as well, and the first thing we need to understand is we all share the common problems. As a community, we have common problems, we have common issues that we're all facing. And while we talk about these problems, we need to take an extra step to take actions, right, to solve these problems.
Right.
Fortunately, let me say, as destiny would find me, I found myself in this space. And with the pandemic, yes, we had to go the extra mile to help the community, and which has, given us the opportunity to be recognized. Particularly, I would say it's not about the people or the company being recognized. I would say it's the effort that
Right.
the community is recognizing.
Right.
So if it were another person in this shoe, the person or the group of people who recognized.
Right.
So, and like that's very important, right? It's not about us, it's about the efforts that have been recognized. And of course, with every recognition, it's fulfilling in the sense that this is what money cannot buy. This is appreciating the impact that has been felt. And that's very much important to me because I see myself as a social entrepreneur.
Right.
I don't do things for money. Money is important in business, but the impact, the lives that have been touched, what's the difference that has been made? That's more important to me. And with the city of St. John, proved particularly. We got an award as diversity champion, and also with the New Brunswick Multicultural Council as well for diversity champion in 2020. Those two awards have one thing in common. They appreciate the fact that despite the fact that I'm a Nigerian, right, it's more about a team of people from diverse cultures. We have people from our team from more than 13 parts of the world. Just name it. We had Chinese, we have Indians, we had Canadians, of course, locals. We had Cameroonians, we had Egyptians, we had our friends from the Arab world. We had lots of people, working with us from different parts of the world. And that creates value in the sense that we learn from each other. We learn from each other from different cultures. So that creates another value that money can buy. And I learn a lot from everyone of our teammates.
That's amazing. It's been a pleasure really hearing from you and attempting to amplify even more your story and your journey. We are also hoping and looking into the future to see you mentor other upcoming entrepreneurs and immigrants as well. We hope that, and we believe that that's part of the goal as well, to grow more entrepreneurs like yourself.
Absolutely, it's a blessing to learn, and it's more blessed, to contribute to another person's learning. Absolutely. And we'll be glad to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Seun Richards, founder, Door2Door Deliveries.